What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fan Club YouTube channel. I'm Will.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Lawson.
We're going to be talking with athletes, entertainers, and creators about how they built a brand for themselves.
So please make sure to like, subscribe, leave us a comment, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out.
We hope you enjoy this episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fan Club. I am joined by my fellow co-hosts, Will Blake and Martin Yell, Cuddy and Lawsy behind the camera, and a special guest, a Canadian creator and comedian, Neema. So thanks for joining us today.
Yes, sir. What's up, man? I love how you guys introduce your whole squad like you're a fucking NHL team.
Oh yeah, well we like to joke about how our podcast days are now game days for us, so do all that kind of preparation.
I love it.
That never leaves.
Where are you coming at us from?
I'm in Toronto, Canada.
Awesome.
Love it.
Looks
The
like
six.
Yeah, looks like you have a nice little studio behind you too.
Yeah, it's my home studio. It's where I used to do a little YouTube series here. So
looks sweet. We need to take some notes. I think that's gorgeous.
Nah, man, you got a good one, man. The fan club looks dope.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
But then it's just on one side, and then you got the fucking Martin on the wall, on a blank white wall. You know,
the white wall.
I love it. Yeah,
we need some new paint. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Sweet. So, when did you start doing comedy? And kind of tell us a little background about yourself and like why are we talking to you today? How'd you get to where you are?
You're talking to me because I'm a fucking clown and I do funny shit online. But no, I started comedy like almost 8 years ago in 2014. I dropped out of school to pursue my comedy career and acting and everything like that. And at the same time, I started doing stand up, acting, like auditions for like TV, movies, stuff like that, and start to make content as well. So I always knew, like, I was always like the funny guy in my family, my group of friends, and everything like that. So I feel like it was deep down inside of me to eventually pursue this. So yeah, and I stuck with it, man. Like I never give up, and I never really had a backup option either. I was like either this or fucking nothing. And so here I am, man, 8 years later, pretty much, and it's starting to really pick up in the past couple of years. And that's it. It's a long game. It's a journey.
Yeah, for sure.
You've been killing it.
Yeah, you have been killing it, and you keep popping up literally everywhere I look now on all platforms. I feel like so I can't get away from you.
Love it.
Love it. What something I wanted to touch on quickly was how was it dropping out of school to pursue your goals and what you wanted? What was the reaction like from family, friends? We all know that's tough when you take a risk for something you want to do, but what was the reaction like when you told them that, hey, I'm dropping out of school to pursue my goals?
At first, my parents were a little disappointed. They're immigrants from like the Middle East, like Iran, and they came as like refugees before they had me. So I was born in Canada, but they probably expected me to become like a lawyer, engineer, or doctor or some shit, and then I turned out to just go on stage and talk about my dick instead, and just do random impressions and everything that the characters, right? But so like they had no idea like where this was going because they don't have comedy back home. Like you try to joke around over there, like you'll get your fucking head cut off. You know what I'm saying? But like over here, there's a freedom to do more things. It's just we have way more resources, and especially like nowadays, just it's a future generation of technology. There's so many things you could use as tools to pursue whatever you want. There's no longer like the traditional route of going to school, getting an education, and then becoming like a 9-to-5 profession or whatever it is, right? So I just had to like prove to myself and to them that this is my calling, this is for me. Like I can actually make something happen out of this. It took a few years, obviously, but like really at the beginning, they saw how much conviction I had that like I wanted to do comedy, that they couldn't really change my mind, so they just accepted it, even though they're a little disappointed at first. My mom was crying like, "How are you gonna make money? How are you gonna live?" I'm like, "Bro, relax. Like I got this." But then like I showed them, man, over the years, like I was really grinding, and like every night I was going out doing stand-up shows, like bombing on stage like crazy, eating shit, online, same thing, you know what I'm saying? But that's just like the beginning phase, right? After a few years, they start to pick up and I start to make a little money, you know what I'm saying? And then like now they're fully behind me, like fully supportive because they've seen all the milestones I've hit, and I've literally made a career out of this for myself now. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
your mom's pretty good when she cameos in some of your videos too.
Yeah, she's funny, man. Yeah, she's a fan favorite for sure, man. And we just actually filmed like 5 videos like 2 days ago together, and I'm posting them this week and next week, and they're bangers, man. They're really good.
Excited to see.
So you definitely can tell like hard work pays off, and it's cool just seeing the journey that you have gone through and gone on since dropping out of school. So I guess it's I want to get a little insight as to your creative process, how you end up creating your content, whether it's for your stand-up comedy or even like your social media platforms. So what's the creative process like for you?
Honestly, man, like my brain is wired in a weird way where, like I'll just be doing random shit, and then a funny idea will pop into my head, and I actually know how to separate it between a video idea and a stand up idea. So, and I have a folder in my phone on my notes app, literally just like you can just scroll for like hours. And it's like since I started doing comedy 8 years ago till now, there's been a stand up folder and a video idea folder. And like every time something funny pops into my head, I'll just write it down right away. It could be completely garbage, and most of it is. But you never know because like I'll write an idea down. I think it's funny at the time, but I don't know how to execute it. But then like 2 years will go by, and then I'll remember that idea from before, and but then now I'll be like, oh, okay, I actually know what to do with this now. And so that's just how it is. Like I could be taking a shit, showering, like whatever it is, like eating food, like yelling at my mom. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, oh shit, this would be a hilarious idea. And then that's it. I'll just go from there.
No, that's funny. Do you find one like your social media site or your stand up? Are they about the same when it comes to creating that content? Or you say you just do it as like it comes to your head, but do you find one more difficult than the other to like make stuff?
They're different. I think it's kind of similar, but they're different in a way because like, for stand-up material, it actually it's much easier in a way for me to try it out because I'm like I get live feedback from people. And then like, the more I practice on stage, the more stage time I get, the more comfortable I get bombing too. And it's like immediate feedback as opposed to videos. Like I'm not sure if this will do well at all, but like I'll just have to do it and then find out later. Um, but like they're both nerve wracking to be honest sometimes. But at the same time, I realize if you don't put it out, if you don't try it, then you're never going to learn. You're never going to grow.
Mm,
And so I use it as a gym. It's a gym. Like literally,
mm,
the more you practice, the better you're gonna get. Right? You
yeah,
learn the technique, you learn the skills. Stage presence, video on camera presence, all that gets better over time.
yeah.
So, do you find the more you grow and the more people that are going to your shows, do you find that that's harder and more added pressure that you know that there's more people out there coming to see you?
It's interesting because like recently this past year when I just did a stand-up tour across Canada for my first ever stand-up tour after like all the years of building up material for my like 45 50 minutes of like proper material. I knew like all my fans were going to be coming to the shows when I was selling the tickets, but like I was confident because like I know my stand-up's good, and but like a lot of my fans who come to the shows, they don't even know I do stand-up or that I did stand-up or how long I've been doing stand-up. They just think I'm like some of them think like, oh, he's just a guy in his basement making videos, like funny videos as characters or accents, right? But there's so much more to me than just that, especially in my stand-up because stand up is a little different too. I can't just go up there and just start like doing impressions. Like that's not traditional stand-up. But I do incorporate that style of videos that I put online into my stand-up as well. So it's a combination. You know what I'm saying? Like there's actual jokes. So and the thing is like every show I've done where my fans would come, most of them are like really impressed because like literally people have come up to me after the show because I do these meet and greets after every show too, and like I don't charge. I just like to meet everyone. Um, and most of them tell me like, yo, honestly, like I didn't think it was gonna be that good, or like, yo, like I'm not gonna lie, like I thought it was gonna be pretty shit, but like you really exceeded my expectations. So I'm like, all right, well, this is just like a bonus in a way. And so I get nervous, but also I'm like confident that it'll go well.
So, I was actually lucky enough to see your show in Winnipeg.
Oh, nice,
And
you're there. That was a fun one. That was a
yeah,
fun show.
yeah, I kind of had that same reaction. I was like, I laughed the entire time. Like
Wow, dope.
that was such a great show. But it kind
Yeah, I
of leads
appreciate it.
into my next question here. I don't know if you remember this part of the show, but there was like a small reserve section, and it
Yeah,
was
at the
like a
front.
bachelor party, and they
Yeah,
showed up late,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then you just roasted them the whole time. Do you kind of hope that at some of your shows that something kind of is off, or someone heckles you, and then you can kind of add in a little bit you didn't plan for?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a difference between like something happening during the show that's like out of anyone's control and me talking about it and making it funny, and people who deliberately like heckle. I think it's a big faux pas in general, like for an audience member to actually like to go into the show thinking that they have to add their say or opinion or make a noise that's not laughter, thinking that it's going to improve the show or improve my set. It throws me off. It throws other people off. It ruins the flow of the show. So it's like comedians don't like it when people heckle, but we have no choice but to deal with it, obviously. But we prefer to just people just to like listen, laugh, or don't laugh. Like that's basic etiquette. But yeah, there are times where that first row of bachelor party, those guys showed up late. And I was like, I'm gonna shit on these motherfuckers. So yeah,
You got to do it. They're asking for it.
they're asking for it, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fun.
You will you tell us a little bit about the, I might be butchering how to say this, but the Stupid Club? That's kind of like your community. I feel like you're
Yeah.
someone who really likes to build your own community, especially with your
Yeah.
post show meet and greets and things like that. How has that helped, and why did you really want to start that?
Well, that's Stupid Club is like the email list we have, but we also I also have a text number that like I can text people with. It's obviously not my personal number; it's my business number, but nonetheless, it's me texting people back. And the thing is, like, and a lot of people have texted me in the past like 6 months since we started it. And the point here is to build the community, like you mentioned, because I feel like it's nothing's more important than providing that value. I feel like Gary Vee right now, but it's true. Like the more value you add to the viewers and your fans for free, when it is time for that one ask you have, like for me, it was like the stand up tour, like to sell tickets. People are way more inclined to come and support you in person or whatever it is you're doing. So building that community is just so crucial and so important. And every day I talk to people and like just like seeing the joy they have getting to interact with someone like me, which is like weird because like I'm just a fucking guy that's doing videos on the internet. And like it also means a lot to me, and it makes me motivated to keep going and try to build more. So yeah, it's great.
Right, because these people who see you and who have been following along, they want to know the real you and not just on stage
Yeah.
you also, and that definitely helps bring people back in for more shows and just
Mhm.
to continue growing that following as well.
100%. And like people all the time tell me, like I even send videos to people sometimes,
That's great.
and like without them even expecting it, and they're like, "What the fuck, yo, this is crazy! Oh my god, this is actually you!" Like, yo, I didn't expect this. This made my day, made my week, or whatever it is. Like, and then they're so grateful that they're like, "Yo, like I'm a ride or die fan for life now." You know what I'm saying? So that's what you want. Like, especially like eventually when I blow up even more and more, those fans will always be there to like buy the merch or come to the shows, support a movie, whatever it is, right? So, yeah, that's the game, man. That's the
Yeah,
fucking game, okay?
That's funny that you talked about Gary Vee and just did that, because we actually wrote a question down about
Oh,
that. We
okay.
kind of want to hear about, obviously you've impersonated him for a while and you're incredible at different impressions, but how did you end up getting to meet him? Just
So,
because of everything you did?
well, yeah, man. Honestly, it's so weird because, first of all, whenever I do impressions, people think I'm like. Some people are like, "Oh man, like honestly, I love Gary Vee, but like this is hilarious." I'm like, "Yeah, like I love him too." Like people think I'm just shitting on them because I hate them. It's not like that at all. I actually really look up to the people I impersonate. That's the reason I'm doing it, is because I watch them so much and I actually like take in a lot of the things that they say. So like earlier on in my career, like pretty much like 2-3 years ago at this point, is when my brother and I got introduced to Gary Vee and we started watching his videos. We actually like took a lot of the info that he had to give to heart and like took action with it. We were proactive in like, because his message is like for content specifically, quantity over quality. Like, don't worry about the judgments of other people, and like you're not gonna know what's gonna work unless you post it. Like, it's not up to you to determine quality; it's up to the market. Blah blah blah, whatever, all that stuff. So I literally took that to heart, started posting a bunch of content like crazy, and then obviously at the same time started impersonating him, and that circled back to him seeing my impression of him, liking it, commenting a couple times. Then he followed me on every platform, and then a few months later, after like 2 years of doing the impression, um, his team reached out and they're like, "Hey, you want to come to VCon and be on stage with him, playing Gary Vee?"
Wow.
And so,
That's
yeah,
cool.
man, I was like, well, that actually opened up my eyes and the perspective, perspective, to be like, yo, if I can do this, if I can get the attention of like the king of online content, then like, what else can I do? And so it just opened my eyes to be like, oh, anything's possible. You just post more content, to be honest.
That's super cool that he was such a good sport about it too.
Yeah, he was great.
Some people probably see your impressions and be like, "Oh, screw this guy, he's
yeah,
just ripping me." But like you said, the people that you look up to are more fun to impersonate anyway.
yeah, and you know more about it, and you actually you're enjoying it more because it's like, yeah, it's a nod to be like, oh, like I respect you, or I look up to you, you know.
Yeah, where I actually first saw you was a few years ago. Was your first hockey player Cartsy impression?
Cartsy,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
sent that to so many of my friends because it was
Nice.
just identical to that. So you obviously grew up around a lot of hockey players then and nail it that well.
100%. Yeah, I grew up around all those guys, man. Fucking just always packing shoes and packing fat lippers with the boys, just mucking puck on the street, road puck,
Oh, that's gold.
Always,
So
every
good.
time we'd have fucking school lunch, like these guys were walking like, "Yo, boys, we eating za or what?" I'm like, "Bro, the fuck is za?" So I'm like, "Yeah,
That's incredible.
This is good.
are you guys hockey players?"
Yep.
We're
Oh, yeah.
retired,
Yeah.
but we
Just
Yeah,
retired.
you guys definitely look like you have a few twigs in your garage.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
I love the hockey impersonations by you and by anyone because I hope
Yeah,
that
it's
we never actually. I hope we never actually talked like that. But there's some people that actually do, and it's like,
Yeah,
my
100%.
God.
I know. No, you guys are the normal ones. You guys are good.
Hope so.
Yeah.
And when you went out west, how was it teaming up with like the Almost Friday guys? Because those guys are also great at skits and all that kind of sort of comedy. So I think you
Yeah.
would have fit in pretty well.
Yeah, man, they're great. They run a cool operation over there in LA, and they have like a strong team of like 5, 6 guys who do the skits together, which is like super helpful. Obviously, so much easier when you have more people to help. And yeah, man, they're just big fans of the Gary Vee stuff originally, so they were like, "Yo, you want to come down here, do some videos?" And just they want to jump on an opportunity, obviously, like while the Gary Vee stuff was hot, which I get.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like I'm not gonna say no. Like it's just a
Mhm.
dope opportunity. So,
For
and that all happened just by posting stuff, right? Like the more you put yourself out there, the more opportunities you're gonna get, and you never know who's watching. You never know who's admiring your stuff and will eventually reach out. So
It's really very true because and we all have people we look up to and want to learn from. Who's a comedian that you've maybe followed along, or if there's a few who really gave you that passion to be like, hey, I can do that too.
well, originally it was Russell Peters for me. He's like the OG, the goat of like cultural jokes and like accents and stuff like that, and that's where I learned to love that when I was a kid. And especially because he's from like my hometown pretty much too. Like he's just outside of Toronto. It was definitely like a really like full circle moment when I got to open for him this past summer. And it turned out that like they actually like my videos too because it makes sense because I do make jokes about certain areas in Toronto and Canada too. So it was relatable for them. Same way it was relatable for you guys with the hockey stuff and everything. And yeah, man, like someone like that really inspired me from the jump. But then along the way, guys like Andrew Schultz, Kevin Hart, like those guys I really look up to now more than anything because they're paving the way to define what a real comedian is. Like Kevin Hart's not just a comedian anymore. Like he's a producer, he's an actor, he's a director. Like, and that's something I want to do. And Andrew Schultz, like really paved the way for the online stuff, and blew up his platforms and his followings. And now he's like selling out shows all everywhere. And yeah, that's just a new wave,
It's so cool to see. Then, have you been able to connect with those guys ever?
Definitely not Kevin Hart, but Andrew Schultz knows who I am at this point because Gary Vee was talking about me on his podcast, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And also like we have similar like there's mutual like friends or comedians that I know that they know him and they hang out and stuff, and so it's only a matter of time before we get to work together. And I just like I like to manifest that, put it out into the universe, like the basic bitch I am, and that's it. One day, man, hard work, effort, mentality, it'll get you far.
Very true.
So I know you just said hard work, mentality, that stuff will take you far. Do you have any advice when it comes like the social media side that you could share to people that maybe think that they're funny, want to get into the comedian realm, but just don't have whatever, just like that next like thing to get them to take action on that?
Yeah, honestly, just like it's very simple to me. It's just about putting yourself out there and just trying new shit. Like, there's certain things I do still to this day where I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm like, all right, fuck, I have to try it. Like, it's scary because like I'm. It's like you have to push yourself outside of that comfort zone of knowing what works, and eventually, move on and do the new things that you're uncertain of.
Hmm.
And that's pretty much it, man. Like, with and there's like I said, there's a market for everybody. Like there's enough for everyone to go around.
Hmm.
And like there will be like everyone has an audience out there. It's just a matter of like doing it more and more and finding it along the way.
Yeah. You seem like a very driven person that many people don't actually would ever think that of you. Maybe they think you just pick up a camera and
Yeah.
film it and it's good to go, but you seem someone who's really pays attention to detail and
Mhm.
is doing this more than a typical 9 to 5. This is 24/7 for you.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's like something I truly love deep down inside. There's nothing else I would rather be doing. Like it really makes me happy, and that's the other thing is like as long as you're happy, man, you'll find a way to make something work. And for me personally, I'm grateful because I have a solid team behind me to help me every day. Like my older brother, he's my manager, and he helps with like all the back end like emails and like dealing with meetings and whatever it is, like talking to people I don't have to talk to, and like reject a bunch of people that I don't have to reject. Um,
Hey, well,
but
thanks for not
Yeah, tell him
rejecting us.
thanks. I was emailing him.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys were in touch with him, but yeah, no, and that's the thing. He's really good at vetting like the right people that aligns with my brand or whatever, like, and I'm more than happy to do things like with podcasts and, like
Mhm.
even collabs with like other creators who are like have less following than I do. Like, I don't care about that. As long as you're funny and you're actually doing something that you love, that you're enjoying, and, there's proof that you've been doing it consistently, I'm all on board too, because I've been there myself when I was like nothing or whatever on the way to getting to where I am now. Um, and so yeah, man, like him, and I have another guy, Cyrus, who's like strategy, content, like creation, stuff like that, and helps me film a bunch of shit. Like that stuff is like so key and crucial that a lot of people don't think they need, like especially with comedians. I feel like no one can do it by themselves. You can't get to the top on your own, and it's actually dumb if you do that because like who are you going to celebrate with? So I'm not ashamed to admit that I get support and like help from these guys. I hire writers to help write certain sketches for me sometimes, that I know that I went to school with. I'm like, but like, who cares? Like, it's still me doing the videos. I'm still like performing. It's still my ideas. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that's like a thing that most people should learn to kind of like accept as like a normal thing. But yeah.
Yeah, did they obviously play a big role when you were on tour with keeping up with content and then obviously managing the tour itself? Because obviously you said it's your first tour, so that would have been a kind of a big shift.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, my brother's actually the one who planned and executed the entire tour, and
Wow.
Wow.
pretty much himself. The other guys were there to like help with, yeah, like posting content sometimes, or strategizing it. But like pretty much, I was still like on a flow, like because I've built the habit over the years. Like I never really lose sight of like what I need to do every day. I just get it done. Like I don't really waste time. I just kind of make sure like everything's still going. You keep the train rolling. Like we plan ahead. Like because we plan so much, we never really like run into that any issues. Like we plan a month ahead, 2 months ahead sometimes. So we're always like on the ball.
Yeah, I think that's super important, especially with how you want to grow and how you want to stay organized and not just be kind of a walking random person where people have no idea what's coming up, and definitely probably keeps you sane too.
100%. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
What was the experience? Obviously, you've hit your goals, you're still climbing up, and I know there's a lot more down the road for you, but what was it like selling out in your hometown? Like how amazing did that feel, and assuming it just made you super hungry for more?
Man, honestly, the greatest feeling ever. Like knowing this all happened because I believed in myself from the beginning, and I dropped out to pursue this full time. And I'll never forget what my dad told me. He's like, "Yo, if you're gonna do this, go 100%." Like,
Mm-hmm.
because like there's no point otherwise. And so I really take that to heart every day. And just like the grind I had, the hard work that I put in over the years, it all like was worth it for these moments. And then I realized also, I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm actually like becoming who I really want to be when I was younger. You know, like I'm actually like a real professional comedian now. And like I made it happen. Like it's possible. It's like this all happened by just taking action and just being smart and working consistently. Honestly, just consistency is the whole key here. Um, and so yeah, it really made me hungry and motivated to like, okay, like what's next? You know, like I got to go harder now so I can build, so I can exponentially grow and do a bigger and even better tour the next time. So yeah,
That's inspiring for a lot of people. Someone with your talent who has that desire is the perfect recipe to keep going. So
yeah,
props to you, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. And I feel like it's in a lot of people, but sometimes people are scared to take the risk, or they have like the outside noise that's like, discouraging them, or I don't know, they're not confident, they don't know where to start. And I'm here to say, like, I didn't know where the fuck I was gonna start. I just like
Yeah.
started doing it. I took classes, like whatever. I just took action. Like I just tried shit. And you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail for years, for however many years. But eventually, in my mind, the way I see it, I'm like, the more you do something, the more you like it, the more you try. Like eventually, like you will be rewarded in one way or another. You just
Mhm.
have to. You can't just like but you can't expect anything at any moment. You just have to keep going.
Yeah. Well, dude, this has been awesome.
Mm.
You just gave us some incredible wisdom in a half hour. Like
I
I
appreciate
would, yeah, I didn't expect what to get when we were chatting with you. I was excited just to get to know you a little bit, and I feel like we relate in a great way where how we're both on these different paths, but it takes a lot of work, a lot of hours that people don't see, but it's so important. So
Yeah,
really impressed and keep it up, man. We're definitely going to be following along on your journey as it continues.
I appreciate that. And you guys are all in Minnesota, you said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You got any plans to come here?
Yeah, for sure, man. I think we're gonna be going to the States soon to do stand-up shows
Awesome.
more and more. So yeah, like let you guys know if I'm ever
That'd
down
be
there. I mean, he's been to the show in Winnipeg,
Oh
so
yeah, I'll be back. I'll be
yeah,
back. That was excellent.
yeah.
It's
So
incredible. Yeah,
yeah,
you got to
man,
get down here.
definitely gonna come down there soon.
Well, thank you so
Awesome.
much, man. I think people are really going to like this, and definitely check out Neema Naz on all platforms. He's an incredible comedian. Definitely, he's my new favorite comedian just because I get to know you a little bit. But hey, thank
Means
you
a
so
lot, bro.
much for your time, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you
thank
guys,
you.
man. I appreciate it,
Appreciate it.
and keep up the good work. And yeah, just like if you truly enjoy what you're doing, man, just keep going, bro. Honestly, like none of this shit, nothing else really matters if you're not just doing the stuff you love.
Well said. It's
Sure.
perfect. Thank you, man.
Good luck.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was great. Like I knew he was funny, just obviously because I did get to see him in person, but I
Mhm.
didn't think he would be able to turn a podcast that funny too.
I was covering my mic because I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, I was breathing through my nose pretty
Oh,
loud at parts.
Yeah, he had a bit at the live show where he did like a full hockey player bit for
Oh, it's perfect.
probably 2 minutes plus, and all my friends were just dying around me.
He's so
it was
good at it.
hilarious.
He's
He even threw out the Gary V really quickly there.
he's a really well spoken guy.
Yeah.
On top of being funny, it's one
Mm-hmm.
thing, but to like the words and just like how well spoken he is, that's just like whole another level there.
I was really impressed with him chatting about his passion and his drive that he does and puts all the work he puts into this because it's true. He nailed it. It's very true that you really have to go all in or nothing's going to work for you.
I found that was super cool that he would have a note, all those notes. Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
But for him to go back 2 years later and finally figure out how he wanted to nail it, like that's just crazy how some people would probably just like write something down and just throw it away after.
Yeah.
But he obviously has come up with a pretty cool system to keep content flowing. He posts like every day, a new thing every day. Like that's tough to be that funny every day.
The biggest takeaway that I pulled from that 30-minute conversation, I know Will has kind of alluded to it a bit, but I thought it was cool to hear him say that like when you're truly happy with what you do, you'll find a way to make it happen. Like he
Mm-hmm.
dropped out of school to pursue something that like not many people do that, to drop.
It takes guts.
Yeah.
That'd be
And,
so hard.
yeah, I just found that to be super cool and just like makes you want to continue pursuing whatever you are doing, what makes you happy.
Well, that something that just clicked in my head was the old Gary V thing that we actually just learned about. Was he took an hour podcast and made it into 30 minutes, just like
Yeah, and he was just dropping bombs on us, like
Yeah.
incredible, just incredible knowledge bombs of things that just apply to everyone. It's really simple,
mhm.
but it's hard to take action on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's come
Yeah.
a long way in his 8 years.
Yeah, it's cool to hear too that like